Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Summers Jr. and today I have the pleasure interviewing pro boxer Kevin Nomas Montaño. How's it going?
Yes, sir. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Uh, Appreciate it, man. I've been trying to get you on for a long time, so thank you for making the time.
Least I could do, man.
Great. So the first question I want to start with is probably the most basic question that you get asked all the time, but I still think it's worth asking. How did you get into boxing?
uh, so story time. uh, this has to go back to like 16, 17 years ago. I was 8 years old. Uh, my older brother actually got me into boxing. He started boxing about 3 years before I did, and he really liked it, so he wanted to get me into it. And at first, I was like, I don't know, it seems like a bad idea. He wants to get punched in the face. Yeah, 8 years old, especially. But he didn't force me, but he kind of made me, which is okay. It's like it's okay to push someone to do something. So I did, and then at first I thought I was just obviously boxing is hard. I thought it was hard. My coach is real old school, and I didn't really I didn't really see the payout. Like I'm a kid, so like why am I going through this for what? And
Right.
then fast forward like 10 months of hard work, and then my coach was like, "Hey, you ready to have your first fight?" I'm like, "Oh, cool, let's do it." I'm 9 years old by this point, and I'm like, maybe I'm about to see what all the hype is about. So, I'm 9 years old, have my first fight. I'm like 65 pounds. you know, I'm light as hell. Um, and we're fighting, I think 60-second rounds. Yeah, 60-second, 60-second rounds. I get in there and I just do what I do in sparring, throw my hands, and then after that I win. And I get this sudden rush, like this feeling like wow, like all these people cheering my name, and I was in love after that and never stopped.
That's awesome. Great to hear. And
Thank
then I gotta ask you about your nickname. No Mas. It's a badass nickname. How did you get it?
No mas. Yeah, thanks for asking that. Actually, um, so I never wanted to pick my own nickname because it's just me personally. No offense to other fighters. A lot of them have good nicknames, so I'm not even talking down on them. But me personally, I thought it was that a little played out to kind of pick your own name because you can tell when all right, obviously he wanted that name. So like when you pick something like I don't want to name something because then maybe it's somebody's freaking name, but like you can tell when it's obvious when it's like all right, he picked his nickname like because it's just like no one would ever call you that. But anyway, I never wanted to pick my own nickname. I wanted to come naturally. So after my pro debut, I went in just as Kevin Montano because I just wanted to see like let's see if maybe like I do something or something
Mhm.
happens where like the fans are like they just start saying some stuff and I'm like all right, so I go in there with no nickname, and then first round I'm kind of just filling them out, kind of nervous as hell to be honest, and keep in mind I've had like over 160 amateur fights, so there's no reason I should be nervous, but I just am because it's
Mhm.
different. It's not the same as amateurs. Um, and then second round comes around, and I'm like, all right, well, it's time to take him out. So I started working him, and then I think it was a body shot, and he takes a knee. I'm like, what? Did I just do that? Like, it's just, in the amateurs, you don't get too many knockouts. It's just,
Right.
it just doesn't happen. And then I go back to the corner. I'm like, all right, there's no way this is over. And then I see the ref counting like 1, 2. Then he gets to like 6. I'm like, oh, this guy's about to quit. And then I hear the whole crowd saying like, no mas, no mas, no mas. I'm like, oh, this is about to happen. I didn't really like notice it in the time.
Mhm.
I just heard the crowd like screaming something. And then obviously he quits. And then fast forward like maybe 10 hours later, or just that night, I started watching all my stories on Instagram. People tag me. I hear the no mas, no mas. Like, oh, okay, that's not a bad nickname. So ever since then, it kind of just stuck.
That's awesome. Yeah, it just happened organically. That's super cool.
Yeah.
And then we got a Just Do Boxing showing up in live chat. What up, salute, Just Do? He says, salute, bro. Respect to no mas.
Don't thank you, man. Oh, you can see me, right? Obviously.
Yeah, he can see, he can hear you,
Yeah.
so he hears it. Thank you, Just Do. And Kevin, I do want to ask you about your amateur career because I saw you got some names on there that are making noise in the pro ranks as well. I think Keyshawn Davis, Bruce Carrington, Duke Reagan. Tell us about your amateur background and basically your experience fighting those fighters.
Yeah. Real quick, can I see the live chat on here? Or
Yeah,
pop up?
I think it should pop up. Let's see. So like, can you see it now? Can you read
Oh
it?
yeah, I do see that. All right, cool. But so amateur career. Yeah. So that's one of the things that my coach kind of taught me is like you want to be very well seasoned before you turn pro because too many fighters. I think most fighters honestly make the mistake of turning pro before it's time. Like you have to get in there and not that you should lose, but you have to get in there and lose. You have to get in there and fight like better opposition. You have to get in there and fight someone that makes you really like push yourself to your limits because if you don't do it in the amateurs and you try to do it for the first time in the pros, you probably will lose. Or you probably will fight a style they're not used to. Like a lot of people aren't used to like my style, even like when I come forward and I pressure you and and I smother you, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not used to that because I just never fought that style. Or a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people aren't used to fighting like slick fighters that are like super slick, super hard to hit, and you're gonna end up getting beat because you've never experienced that before. However, uh, me being having a whole bunch of fights, like I was able to kind of facing guys like Duke Reagan, Keyshawn Davis, Bruce Carrington, I think David Navarro too. He was like, I think he the silver medalist at the Olympic trials. Uh, Facing guys like that, I was able to kind of experience that. I've had some hard fights. I paid my dues in the amateurs, so I feel like I fought. I mean, these guys were literally Olympians. Uh, I fought also an Olympian from Kazakhstan when I fought overseas, and it's just priceless, man. You got to get that experience out there because if you see everything in the amateurs, then you're gonna be ready for the pros.
Yeah, I agree. And then kind of speaking of the pros, we saw Devin Haney recently against George Kambosos, and he got the victory. But I don't know if you saw the documentary ESPN did on him in Oakland and his roots dating back to Oakland. I wanted to ask you about your roots because I saw that you grew up in Richmond, and I saw where I grew up.
Oh yeah,
What are some of the things that you learned from Richmond?
Richmond was so I was really young. I'm surprised you know that actually. Uh, I think we moved out of Richmond when I was like 8 years old, so I lived there for like 7 8 years in Richmond, and then went to Concord. But Richmond, I do definitely remember. Like especially like early grade school. Richmond, I didn't know any better. I just thought, well, everyone lives like this, I
Mm-hmm.
just thought this is normal. I mean, it wasn't until I moved to like till I was like maybe like middle school that I kind of realized like, oh damn, like we kind of moved out of something that was we're better off now. But living in Richmond, I lived in these it was similar to like Section 8 housing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Section 8, but it was like there was these condos. They're all the same size, all exactly looked the same because it was just very low, affordable homing, and it kind of just I guess humble beginnings are gonna make you humble. It taught me to appreciate life more. It taught me to appreciate the little things. Just having my family like so close to me at all any given time was made me really close to family. Made me appreciate
Mm-hmm.
family. Um, so I in that small house there was only one bedroom. It was me, my brother, older brother, and my parents. My other two little brothers weren't born yet. But not me and my parents took the one bedroom, and then me and my brother slept on this like it was like kind of like a pull-out couch, I think,
Uh-huh.
if I remember correctly. So like, and I just thought, oh dope, like for, unlimited sleepovers, like slumber party, whatever you want to call it. Like
Yeah.
I just thought, cool, I got to spend sleep with my brother every night. It's dope. Um, but I mean, we were sleeping in the living room, so it's not like it's not like we had our own little room either. We had no privacy. But I mean, I was cool with that. So living in Richmond just made me appreciate life. That's for sure. And it gave me that hunger because you can't create hunger. It has to happen organically or it won't be there. Yeah,
That's awesome here, and I think I agree 100% with you. I think when you come from humble backgrounds and kind of tough upbringing, when you do face adversity in the boxing ring, you're not gonna quit because you're like, oh, I've been through worse than what I'm going through right now.
right.
And we got a comment here from Akeem Haynes. What up, brother? He says, my brother Jose, much love. Love what you're doing, brother. No mas, keep doing your thing, man. It's your time. Salute.
Hey, thank you, man. Stuff like that keeps me going, man. Because right now I'm like less than 2 weeks out from my fight, and it's tough, man. These last 2 weeks are hell weeks. So just like meeting people, like when I'm giving out tickets, comments like that keeps me going, man. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, much love. And let's talk about your next fight. So let's fast forward to present day. 3-0, 2 knockouts, and you're gonna be on the October 29th card by Paco Presents at the Cash Creek Casino.
Right.
Are you excited to be back, and are you expecting a big hometown support for that fight?
Yes, sir. I'm real excited. I think this fight is gonna be a real stepping stone. I feel like I'm definitely in the best shape I've ever been, and I say that every training camp, but every training camp is just like I feel like I get better.
Just leveling up.
Yes, sir. And I feel like so this guy I'm fighting a southpaw. So we've been sparring nothing but southpaws, just completely focusing on what we have in front of us. And my strength, I've been checking off every box, my strength training, my road work, my sparring, my conditioning, everything. I didn't miss a beat. My diet has been impeccable. Everything I eat I work with a meal prep company. Everything I eat is whole, healthy food. No cheating. No like eating little gummy bears here and there. None of that stuff. Like no, just completely. I sacrificed it all. I even gave up like salt. Um, there's me and my family. We use a lot of salt in my family. I don't know why. Maybe it's a Mexican thing, but
Yeah,
uh, I gave up. I sacrificed everything, and I'm really ready to show it off October 29th.
we're looking forward to it, and it'll
Thank
be
you.
at 130 pounds, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that the weight class you plan to kind of campaign and win your first title at?
Yeah, God first. I want to stay at that weight class. I am 25 years old now, though. So as long as my body don't do me dirty and I have to move up. So yeah, I do plan on staying at 130.
Absolutely. And then I want to ask you, how do you prepare for fights? Do you watch much tape on your opponent, or are you mostly just focusing on yourself and improving your skill set?
Definitely watch a lot of tape. I try to watch it. I want to say every day, but it's I do miss a day here and there. But almost every day, maybe 5 6 days a week, I watch him just over and over and over again and try to just memorize and see like what he does. For example, well, I'm not gonna just start talking to him right now, but I just like to notice I like to see the chink in his armor. I like to see what mistakes he makes and when's the right time to counter, right time to attack, and right time to defend. So yeah, I do focus a lot on studying what I have in front of me.
Absolutely. And then I want to ask you about the local boxing scene, the Bay Area, Northern California. What are some names that we should keep an eye on, or up and coming? Obviously we had on this platform before Joe Sean James and Charlie Sheehy, just to name a few. Would you co-sign them? And
I
who
would
you at?
definitely I would definitely co-sign him. I actually grew up with them too. Charlie Sheehy, I think he is definitely one of the most what's the word, underrated guys, just because he's so quiet.
Hmm.
But I mean, but that's okay. His time is obviously coming. He's already signed Top Rank. But people are gonna see, like, even though someone can be quiet, but if they're just a beast in the ring, it's just gonna eventually, the news is gonna spread. He's gonna knock the right person out or whatever. It's Charlie Sheehy for sure. I think is the most underrated fighter right now. I think he's gonna really shock the world soon. Joe Sean James, I think he kind of shocked everybody recently with that last fight. I'm like, man, are you? I mean, I didn't tell him this, but I was worried, man. He's fighting another undefeated fighter in his hometown on his promotional company. I'm like, damn, bro, like it's not a top ranked fight, but I mean, he took the right risk, and he paid off, and it looks like he has a way better future for himself now. So shout out to Joe Sean, you impressed all of us. Another guy that I want to kind of put on. Well, he's not really pro yet, but my one of my sparring partners, his name's Abe Lozano. He's 18 years old, but he's southpaw, but he's way ahead of his time. So keep a look out for him because everything goes as planned, I think he's gonna be at least as good as me one day. But yeah, those three for sure.
That's I praise, and I did reach out to Joe Sean. I think the day after his fight, I told him me, Kevin, and Kane Sandoval were in the YouTube live chat. Having
Oh
your
my god.
back. I sent him the screenshots, the comments, like we held it down.
Bro, I was going in, man. I was talking smack all day.
They got quiet after the result. I'll say
Yeah, they
that.
did. They did.
They wanted no mas.
No, I was dying, man.
I know, man. I know. All right, so I want to ask you about your sparring. What's the furthest you've had to travel to get good sparring?
Uh, I definitely went to what's the furthest for like just recently or like
Just throughout your career.
uh I don't know if you can consider it traveling, but I mean obviously when I was on Team USA, I was sparring at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. So I mean that'd technically be the furthest. Um, Other than that, I went to Fresno a lot to spar Mark Castro. Shout out to him. He's another guy to keep on the lookout, but he's not really in the Bay Area. Also, when I was on Team USA, we were overseas sparring. I don't know if that counts, but we
That
sparred
counts.
a lot. We sparred a lot of like sparred Japan and all these other China, all these other countries that you know, it's just like stuff like that is priceless. You can't pay for that. Um, so yeah, probably that's probably the furthest.
For sure, for sure. And then of your either sparring sessions or pro fights, who has been the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with?
Ooh. Like at my weight or heavier?
Like it could be heavier. Just anyone that you like, man, it can really punch.
Um, that's a good question. There's this guy that I think he fights at like 147, but he just oh my god he hits hard, so I make sure I don't get hit. uh, but I forgot his name, but because we spar a bunch of guys at this gym in the Bay Area. Um, but he hits hard. It's not like he's like the most talented guy either. It's just one of those guys that's just naturally heavy handed. I know I don't really help you much because I don't have the name, but that's what I'm thinking about right now.
Absolutely. I'll try to find them welterweight, and I'll see how many there are in the Bay Area. uh, we got another live comment from Tony. He says, "Much respect, Mo Boxing, no problem. Stopped in to show support and hit the like button. Salute, working and listening. Thank you for taking the time from your workday." And then Kevin, who was your favorite boxer growing up?
Well, that's a good question. I definitely like Pernell Whitaker because I just that's something I was never really able to master. That kind of like defensive genius is just like, wow,
It's
like
unreal.
how, like how do
Yeah.
you do that? Like he just looked like he was just dancing in there, and like he couldn't hit hard, but you couldn't hit him. I had a coach, not my coach, but his name was Tim Brooks. He said he fought him in the amateurs. He said he told me this. I hit him one time in the amateurs, and it was on accident. I was just dying after that. But aside from Pernell Whitaker, I do the obvious. I do like Floyd Mayweather, but not because not even because of the defensive genius. I like him because he's here to make money, and a lot of people are like kind of ashamed to admit that. Like if boxing didn't make so much money, I probably wouldn't be doing it. It's just too much brain trauma, too much work. The payoff wouldn't be there. I like Floyd because obviously the defensive part, but also because he understands that there's money to make, and he makes that both inside and outside the ring. He knows how to really become successful, and I kind of want to not take after that, but like in terms of creating a successful future for yourself where you don't have to worry about anything ever again. I definitely want to do some of that.
Agree.
Yeah,
And Floyd definitely opened the door for fighters to get paid. I think
exactly.
without him, maybe boxing would be more in line with like UFC pay.
Yeah, never. I would
Yeah.
never do that.
Yeah. And then who is your number one pound for pound boxer today?
Uh, like that I think is the number one pound for pound.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question too. I think honestly, I think Shakur Stevenson might be, even though he's still young. I think Shakur Stevenson might be like a southpaw Floyd, like like just
Right.
he's he's real good. I sparred him one time at the Limit Training Center, and it was just a lot of me throwing punches and him just not even making me miss, but he was just just blocking like almost everything. Like damn, this guy's hard to hit, and it's not like he beat me up or nothing. It's just damn, like, I can't really hit this guy. Uh, but it was a good little competitive sparring match. I think he's got the goods for sure. Obviously Canelo. I mean, I give it to Canelo just because who else is going up like that many weight classes and just even just taking the test. I think Canelo for sure is one of the pound for pound right now, and yeah, those two for sure.
Absolutely. And then we got Sportsman Tunes showing up in live chat. What up, Sportsman Tunes? He says, "Go champs," and then no mas, keep it up.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. And then have you had a chance to meet any boxing legends or icons? I know it's still early on in your career, but have you met any in person yet?
Yeah, I just met Sugar Ray Leonard like a month ago maybe.
That's
He was
dope.
real cool, real humble guy. No, you think being that famous, it would get to their head, but no, these guys are super humble, super nice. Like I took the time to tell him about, because I mean I'm sure you know about the No Mas fight with him and Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know about that because that was kind of way before my time. My coach told me about it. He's like, because when I told him I wanted the name No Mas, he's like, that's a bad nickname, right? I'm like, what? What do you mean? And he told me about the fight with Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. See, and I'm a hardcore boxing fan. That's I feel like it's old now. Like people current day don't really, at least people around my age don't remember that nickname as like negative. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I hear No Mas, I think the only time I've ever heard that is like No Maschenko. Uh,
Oh, yep.
but he's really known as Matrix. So I'm taking the name and I'm putting a positive spin on him. And then he's like, all right. But aside from Sugar Ray, I met Teofimo Lopez. He's a real cool dude too. Especially for how young he is. You think for sure that would get to his head being a world champ or whatever. No, he's super humble dude. He took the time to. It was after Mark Castro's fight in Fresno at Jukanzi Stadium. I met him backstage and super cool dude. Like I want to be. I don't honestly I want to be just like him, but I want to be like he takes the time to just talk to every one of his fans. Like like actual like time, not just like, oh hi bye hi, but like no, he takes the time to talk to them, hear what they have to say, and give like positive feedback. Like that's real as hell. Like I want to you know move my career like that, where I give, obviously I can't give like 100 people a time a day, but
Right.
as much as I can, like I want to do that and just kind of give back to the people that are actually out there buying tickets, supporting me, traveling to come watch me fight. Like that I don't think I'm better than anybody. So uh Teofimo for sure. Who else did I meet? I met Andre Ward a couple times, but I mean it was very short. Um, that's what I remember off the top of my head right now.
That's a good list. And Andre Ward was one of my favorites growing up because he was
Yeah,
having those big events at Oracle in Oakland, those big fights, and
yeah,
ever since he retired, we kind of been missing that. So
yeah,
hopefully one day you or Charlie can do something in Oakland, San Francisco.
definitely.
All right. So the next segment is what we like to call the fan segment. So I'm going to give you 3 fights. I want you to kind of put your prediction hat on and tell me who would win out of these matchups. They could be either confirmed or rumored. So we'll start with the first one. This is the one that's going to be the main event for your card on October 29th. Alan Sanchez versus Saul Bustos. Who do you think is going to win that one?
I don't even know, man. See, I just don't know those guys. I don't know. I don't really know anything about them. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. I heard Allen's pretty tough, but I don't really know anything about him, nor do I know about the other guys. So I couldn't really tell you.
No worries, no worries. So second fight I want to ask you about. This one, I'm sure you heard of him. Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez.
Oh man, see that I want to say Canelo, just because like like he's fought some good fights, man. Like he's even fought Floyd. Like not too many people get to fight Floyd. I feel like that fight with Floyd just made him better. Like he just made him a lot better. And then, but then I don't know. Benavidez is young. He's really fast. I would still stick towards Canelo. I feel like he has more IQ, more ring experience than Benavidez. Maybe Benavidez is a little bit more athletic because he's younger, but I'd probably go with Canelo.
Absolutely. And then for the final fight, who's going to win out of Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia?
That one's honestly, I feel like Gervonta Davis has some dangerous power, and I think he also has a strong chin. So I think it would be a good matchup. I think anything could happen, honestly, but I would lean it towards. I'd probably get like a 60-40 towards Gervonta Davis, just because we've seen what happened when Ryan Garcia got caught. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but that was against Ryan Coogler, and Ryan Coogler, I don't think he's never. That's the name, right? Ryan Coogler.
The one that, oh no, I think that was that Luke Campbell, the one caught him.
Luke
Mm-hmm.
Campbell. My bad. I don't know who I'm thinking about. Luke Campbell. Yeah, Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell's not really known as a
Puncher.
power puncher,
Mm-hmm.
but Gervonta Davis is. And Gervonta Davis, I feel like he's quick. He don't seem like he is. They seem like everyone thinks he's just power. No, he's real athletic. He'll jump at you real quick and catch him with that leaping left hook. I think Gervonta Davis would take it.
Absolutely. All right, then coming back to you, Kevin. What are some things you like to do outside of boxing? Some interests and hobbies of yours?
Outside of boxing, I'm really big with the social media thing. I was able to quit my job and just focus on boxing. Thanks to things like Instagram. A lot of people don't know this. Like a lot of boxers, especially, is you can get paid on Instagram now. It's not like just social media anymore. Like you can get paid. And if that's one way that you can focus more of your time with boxing, then why not take advantage of it? Because I see a lot of boxers. Traditionally speaking, like boxers will, especially Mexicans, like they'll be like landscapers or they'll be like construction workers or just anything labor intensive, and that takes a lot out of your body and especially out of your training. Um, so that's definitely one of my hobbies. Is I don't know if you call me an influencer, but that's it. I do definitely take it very seriously. I do a lot of video editing.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of go hand in hand because I have to post and edit what I make. Um, Other than that, I mean, I do have other things, but off the top of my head, definitely those two: just video editing and social media.
Awesome. No, and
Yeah.
you're definitely on your way to be like a mega influencer. I think technically right now you're a micro influencer, but 50K is doing great. And I personally love your Drake Fair trade videos. That's the kind of the first one that I saw on Instagram. Those were super funny. Awesome. All right, and then for the final question, Kevin, what's a message you want to say to your fans, supporters, who are watching this interview?
I just want to say thank you everybody that bought tickets. Thank you everybody that's going to buy tickets. Thank you everyone that sponsored me. Thank you everybody that actually took the time to check up on me here and there, or even just keep up with me. I really appreciate that. That really keeps me going. Um, Look forward to October 29th being full of fireworks. It's gonna be an action-packed show. That don't mean I'm gonna go to war because we don't train to go to war. We train to dominate. But it is gonna be action-packed. A lot of heads swinging back, not mine, but it's gonna be an action-packed show. This guy's traditional tough Mexican guy, so he's not gonna want to go down. But God first will make him say no mas, and you know it'll be a show you're not gonna want to miss. So thank you everybody that's coming out to support. God bless.
That's the goal. And Kevin, again, thank you so much for the time. It really was my pleasure to interview you, and I appreciate you kind of taking some time out of your busy schedule. We wish you much success here at Mobox, no problem. And we'll be tuning in October 29th to see you go to 4-0.
Hell yeah, man! I appreciate you having me.
No problem, man. We'll do it again real soon.
All right, bro. Have a good day, man.
You too. Take care. Later, champ.